Coffee Doug here. Welcome to Saturday Rough Cuts Review. It is a pleasure to be with you as always. This week I'm going to be reviewing the movie Sicko. It is a Michael Moore film, and before you shut off the review, well, you probably already know what it was anyway when you saw the link. Be aware that I really don't have any strong political views. I don't really lean one way or the other, not that I know of. And I'm not really a fan of Michael Moore, and I'm not a fan of Michael Moore. I've only seen Fahrenheit 9/11, and I had to watch it for a class in college, and I don't really remember it. I watched this because my girlfriend had to watch it for school, college, and not grade school. And it really, I don't know, it just really opened up my mind a little bit to learning both sides of the story. Sicko's a documentary, came out 2007, rated PG-13, runs about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. And it basically is just, he is doing a documentary research about healthcare in America. And it's not so much about the people that don't get healthcare. He makes it pretty clear right away there's a lot of Americans that don't have healthcare for one reason or another. But it's about the people that do have healthcare and what they're really getting out of their healthcare. He travels all over the United States. He talks to so many different people that have had serious conditions or not serious conditions and have really had the insurance companies just totally screw them over. And that is one of the reasons that I think I enjoyed this film, is obviously you're going to get somewhat of a biased view. You're going to get his view. And there are a lot of times where I've even seen interviews with him or parts of other documentaries that he's done, and I'll try to play devil's advocate. Even if I agree with what he's saying, I'll say, well, but you're not showing this side. And with this movie and this topic, it's not. Sometimes there is no other side to show. Like, you hear all the time about people suffering because of having to deal with their insurance companies and how it's such a pain in the ass, and a lot of times the insurance companies are really just out to screw you over. And he's just trying to show, we've just grown to accept that. That's just the American way. And he's pretty adamant throughout, he's not trying to put down America, he's putting down our way of thinking about that. With insurance companies should not be able to do that to us. It's really interesting. He travels to many other countries. He goes to Paris, France. He goes to Cuba, all over, and looks up how healthcare is in Canada. And a lot of people know that Canada is the universal healthcare, and and my knowledge is limited. I'm basically ignorant when it comes to things like this. But from what I understand, the universal healthcare is everybody's covered. It just gets taken out of their taxes, and you go to the hospital and you basically owe nothing. Now, there's obviously pros and cons to that. Some people will say if America had that, then you're going to have doctors not being as good, and you're going to take forever in the waiting room, and this and that. I don't know. It seemed like in those other countries that wasn't the case. Now, I would like to do some extensive research and find out how it really is. He does talk to Canadians and people from Paris and stuff like that, but who knows who he chose to talk to. But it really does show how there are some other things that countries do, that other countries do, that we might not do it that way at all, but maybe they're right. Maybe they figured something out. Even if, America is overall a much better country, or maybe Canada is a much better country or whatever, there's things you can learn from other countries that they do that would even help even more in bettering yourselves. He doesn't really get into the confrontational interviews like he normally does. A lot of times when you see him in interviews, he's kind of almost in their face or attacking people or getting them, catching them on the spot. And he doesn't really do that here, but I don't know that that was his choice. I think he wasn't able to get a lot of insurance people to interview with. I think a lot of them from the medical companies were definitely not allowed. So that he had to kind of do research on his own. But that always makes me wonder whenever, somebody's doing a documentary like this, whether it was this or I remember during the Super Size Me that Morgan Spurlock did, McDonald's didn't even really want to talk to him and stuff. Whenever the companies won't talk to you, I mean, that to me, it's almost like an admission of some kind of guilt. Like, they don't, like, I don't know. I guess I kind of understand, like, they don't want to put themselves in a hard spot even if they're not doing anything wrong. But it's like, why can't you send a representative to talk about it or address some of the questions? Because a lot of times, Michael Moore will ask questions in this that are valid questions. It's not even like he's not trying to pull you one way or the other, and he obviously is kind of trying to pull you towards universal health care, I think. But I didn't feel like it was even that much. It's more just showing how other countries are doing stuff where everybody is covered and everybody gets medical attention. Why aren't we figuring out a way to do it? Well, it's because these insurance and drug companies make so many billions of dollars a year off of us that's why. That's why, people don't get coverage, or that's why your grandmother could go to the hospital sick and and have to lose her house and be put in a home if she can even afford that because of her medical bills, because of the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. And that's kind of, it's just sad. It really is sad. So, and like I said, I will state again, I know there's more than two sides to every story, and you definitely need to do your research, and I'm not trying to lean you one way or another, but I do recommend checking out the documentary Sicko. I think it is worth, watching for sure, and, even if you don't agree with going to any kind of universal health care, if you think just keep it like it is now, it'll at least show you how some people have a lot of power when they really shouldn't have that much power. It's almost wrong, especially when people's lives are at stake. And, just kind of scary. There's one guy, like one little instance in here where like a guy shows how he cut off the top parts of two of his fingers. And when he got to the hospital, they had the capability to sew him back on, and they were going to sew him back on, but they informed him first that his middle finger would cost $60,000 and his ring finger would cost $12,000. So he couldn't afford both, so they were like, what one do you want to apply for? Your insurance might cover some or whatever. And he went for the ring finger because it was cheapest, and it's his ring finger. So he paid $12,000 and got the ring finger attached, and it looks perfect now, and he still has the other part of his finger cut off. And it's just, I was like, really? Like, seriously? That happened? Like, you're in the hospital, they can do it? Just fucking do it. Like, sew his fingers on, figure out the bills later. Somehow, somebody's going to pay something, it's going to happen. It's just, oh man, I don't know, that really affected me that could happen. And maybe that's not life-threatening, but man, that's your limbs. That's your fingers, your digits. You need those. So, yeah, sorry I rambled on a little long. I really want to hear what you guys think about this. And please, I don't know, if you're a Michael Moore hater, please don't write me how he effing sucks and blah, 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 and you're stupid for watching that. I don't care about any of that. I would, if you do totally disagree with him, I would love to hear what you have to say and why universal health care is a really bad idea in America. Only because I don't know much. I would like to learn more about it. And even getting on the internet and stuff, it seems like most people are kind of for going to some other kind of health care in our nation. Maybe not universal, but something. So, very interesting subject, interesting topic, and I definitely want to hear all of your views on it, especially if you're from other countries. That would be great. Tell me how it is in your country, going to the hospital, or having a surgery done or an emergency room visit, things like that. Please write me and let me know. And I will definitely, I always try to get back to almost every comment anyway, but I will make a supreme effort with this one to, at least definitely read all your comments. I always do, but I'll try to write you all back and try to get in discussions with you just because I find it very interesting. So let me know what you think. Coffee Doug for the Rough Cuts. Keep watching us. We definitely appreciate all you viewers, and I will see you next Saturday.